Hi, everyone. We've reached the end of the road. Number 1 in our 15 to watch in 2015 series. Mr. Kolpak is breathing a sigh of relief. We've reached the end of this, and this might be the biggest slam dunk of slam dunk votes that there is at number 1. Quarterback normally gets the nod most of the time. I think here, for the second year in a row, John Crockett gave us a hard time last year when he was voted number 2 and not number 1. You can make an argument last season. I don't think there's any argument you can make.
I had Crockett number 1.
I did. I had him number 2, so John could still give me a hard time on that. But the Carson Wentz has to be number 1 for 2015.
And why does he have to be number 1? Because, well, he is the guy. He's a senior. He's got the experience. I thought last year was just tremendous, the way he developed over the season. Remember, those first 2 games were not real promising.
No.
They were average at
That's
best.
why that final stat is ridiculous. 25 touchdowns in the final 14 games. So we're talking almost 2 touchdown passes a game over that stretch.
And what everybody knows, I think, now, too, about Carson Wentz is his leadership. He was a captain as a junior, and that's like a Grant Olson type of thing. He's got the respect in the locker room. He's a 4.0. We know about his intelligence factor. He's shown that over the course of his career, and he's got a gun. Look at that. He's got an arm. That was underthrown a little bit, but I don't expect that to happen very often.
His maturity and his leadership, and we saw in his athleticism, we saw right out of the gates at Iowa State on that play when he was leaping over defenders against the Cyclones, and we saw it at the very end of the regular season as well against Youngstown State. And this is the play I was talking about here on this rushing touchdown in what was a boat race against Youngstown State that basically cost Eric Wolford his job with the Penguins. He got better as the season went along. I think you hit the nail on the head, and this is the thing that people don't expect. He can run like a deer.
Yeah, at 6'6", he's 231 listed. He may be just a tad heavier, 230.
235 is the new weight now.
And that's what they projected him to come into fall camp yet. I just like the way he can handle his team, and he's really shown it in the clutch. And you remember in the playoffs, that pass to R.J. Urzendowski was just a thing of beauty. It couldn't have been placed any better if he just dropped it from 5 feet above him. And the way he led that final drive in the FCS title game.
That was the next words out of my mouth.
That was the Brock Jensen thing. Brock Jensen did that, and now Carson Wentz has shown that he can do that.
Now, he's had a ton of accolades, and we've talked about it. From Mel Kiper rating him as the number 3 senior quarterback to watch for the NFL draft. He was invited to the Nike Elite Quarterback Camp in July out in Oregon. We're talking with the elite quarterbacks in all of college football. How does he handle that heading into this season? A lot of accolades on a guy.
You talk to the Bison coaches, and they expect no problems whatsoever with him handling stuff like that. And I wouldn't either. We've seen him around the media in the last couple of years. He's a pretty mature kid.
Doesn't blink.
He doesn't blink. He doesn't get frustrated. It's not about I. You don't hear about I, me, or any of all those things. He's very well coached in that setting. But I don't think he needed to be coached in that setting.
I think the biggest thing helping him, he's got a former NFL quarterback as his QB coach in Randy Hedberg, and you've talked about that for a while.
And Randy Hedberg is just the steady general, I think, of that offense. He's been around, he's seen it. He knows the fundamentals left and right. He knows the game. There's nothing that surprises him. You have Tim Paulsek, who's the offensive coordinator, who's the fiery guy and really the energetic guy.
Yeah.
I think Randy
Hedberg, the opposite,
It's a nice balance. It's a nice balance up in the booth.
Okay, 25 touchdowns last year, 6 rushing touchdowns. Just give me some numbers. What do you expect from him in 2015?
I don't know why you wouldn't say
they're both going up in my mind.
And here's a couple reasons. Number one, his offensive line is really good. It's experienced, and if the offensive line stays healthy, you're going to see him have a lot of time. And Zach Vraw coming back, I think, gives him that deep threat. And if Zach has a season, I think that he expects, I think Carson's numbers are just going to follow suit.
I had a couple guys tweet at me that wanted to ask you about why they weren't included in the top 15. I want to get your response on this, okay? Trey Dempsey was one, and R.J. Urzendowski was the other. I think each could be included in this list.
Well, there's only 15 guys.
That's true. And each of them are just going to be sophomores as well in 2015, but both were really good last year.
R.J. Urzendowski, he's. I think he didn't make it because you have Zach Vraw on the other side. So.
And Trey didn't make it because you have C.J. Smith.
Yeah. Wait your time, gentlemen.
That's just the. You can. And you,
we'll take that under consideration.
No, but I think you hit the nail on the head. There's 15 guys. If we want to nail it down, I mean, you could include a lot of guys on this list, but these are the top 15 we're looking at that have the best chance for NDSU to succeed in the upcoming season. There you have it, folks. 3 weeks of position previews. We went through all the positions. Now we can actually start talking football with fall camp underway. With Jeff Kolpak, I'm Dom Izzo. That's our 15 to watch in 2015 series.